Good evening, everybody. So I just had a mad panic there as my computer came off and said low battery. So I had to get it while that was
Do you know what? That was one of the slickest intros we've done. Because you were running around like a lunatic in the background.
I was trying to get in. I could see Haley was passing the cable. But anyway, good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 18 of the Plastic Crack podcast. It might be episode 19, or it could be episode 17. We don't know. We kind of lost track. Ken told us off during the week.
Ken? What do you think, Ken?
Yeah. This is our new and improved version of Ken.
We should have a tub of lard on there, shouldn't we? You know that, was it, Have I Got News for You? That'd be great.
Yeah. Oh, dear. But no, he's Ken will be joining us shortly. We've had a call from the car, but we are not doing car cam like we did last time. So Ken is on his way. So welcome to your Monday night Plastic Crack podcast with me, Martin, seventh son. Below me, you've got Dom from Boots on the Table, and to my diagonal that way, you've got Steve from On Point HQ, and soon to be joining us will be Ken from Miniature Wargaming Warriors. I'm sorry.
I'm getting it right these days, and you're going to get it wrong. It's brilliant.
I know. No, I still read. It just takes me time for it from MWW. You should just put him on there. It still says Nap Crazy on his little tagline. We need to change that. We do. Yours is just Germans, yeah.
I've not painted apart from Landsknechts. I've painted nothing German this year.
To be fair, we need to get him to rinse the overlays because there's so many in there. It takes quite a long time to find the right one. But anyway, welcome. We are very pleased you decided to spend your Monday evening with us while you do some hobbying, or maybe
you should be in the pub, by the way. You should be in the pub.
You should be in the pub. But also, to the people who are in the pub and then they're going to watch this on the replay, welcome to everybody who's watching this on the replay. Thank you very much. See, I got that in before Ken says, so when Ken says it in 20 minutes' time, we can already say, I said so.
And it's not even 8:05. I call that a success.
Well done.
How are you guys doing? How's your Monday going?
Monday's been a really weird day today. I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel I ever really got going on a Monday, and it's already 8 o'clock. I don't know really what happened, really. It's just been one of those weird days. I hope the week's not going to be like this. That's all I can say.
That's probably not a good thing to wish for. That's how you jinx it, isn't it?
That's true. Probably true. It's like that.
Right. We probably should just say hello to all the people in the comments. So we have Battle Matt, who proclaims that he was first, and then we had Tim Stevens saying, "Sorry, no." We have Dave Barker. We've got Paul from Paul's Paint Shed. Hello, mate. We've got Lionheart, Louis Baber, Carl, our sponsor, as always. We're sponsored by messersminiatures.co.uk. And we'll be popping up a code later on, so you can head over there and you'll net yourself a lovely 10% discount that Carl's been kind enough to share with us, to share with you. And but we'll tell a little bit more on that later on. I was about to call out myself then, but that's because I commented on something. We have Steve Reese, Corey Hanlon, Enemy in Sight, Nick Games. How you doing, mate? How's the 30 Years War stuff? I saw one of your videos earlier in the week, and that's looking awesome. Who else we got? Gary Phillips, Hammond Jam, Chris Richards, Philip Harriman. Sorry, I misread that just as it came in. Leslie, how you doing, mate? Friends of General Hayes here. Joshua, Yorkshire Gamer. I really enjoyed your podcast the other day, mate. Thank you for the little shout out for us.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Thank you very much for the Plastic Crack podcast. If you guys haven't seen it, head over to Yorkshire Gamer's channel, and you'll find a link to the podcast that he did with VK. Drew, Tenement Tabletops in. Also, watched your video at the weekend on your British for your Zulu project. That was also very cool.
Wow, that was impressive. Yeah.
I know, but it's not good because it just makes me want to do them.
I know. The figure was hovering, and then it went no.
I know. 5 minutes to myself. Hello. I don't think I've seen you before, but hello. If you have, I'm sorry if I haven't noticed you, but hello, welcome. And we've got Alid Roberts, Culloden's here. Tabletop CP, Travis, Lee Gardner,
Travis,
Day KZ69. Solvent Abuse UK, Lazy Pirate Painting's back, Niall Bennett, Stephen Keelan, Crossing Obstacle Gaming. God, I sound like a bloody horse race commentator.
Yeah, you're speeding up, mate. You're speeding up.
Benjamin Christensen, Evil Jim Reaper, and Christoph Geldof, Owen Douglas, Old School FRP, Steve Hubbard, there's just so many. It's gonna keep coming in. And the last comment in here is good to see Ken's been elevated to a higher place. That's from Leslie. Ken will be joining us. We haven't lost him. And Luke Farrell's just popped in. So hello everybody and welcome. Right, I suppose it's time to see what everyone's been up to. So I was gonna say let's ask Ken.
Yeah, let's ask Ken.
Let's ask Ken.
Really
Ken. What have you been up to? I don't think he's put any photos in here, so I don't know if I can actually throw him up. I'll ask him when he comes back. Steve, what have you been up to, mate?
Well, given my technological woes over the past week, I've had quite a lot of time to do some painting. So I have. Let's have a look. I've been doing some more of my US Airborne. So what have we got? What did I do? So first of all was this. Heavy machine gun team with kit bashed crew.
Very nice. Oh, I do like that. I do like that going front.
I loved working on that. It was difficult.
Are there 4 guys on there?
Yeah, the HMG has got a 4-man team.
Cool, wicked.
But the guy actually firing it, he's US infantry. But what I did is I had to cut his boots down and use green stuff to put baggy pockets on his trousers. He had about 4 different pairs of arm combinations as well. They just couldn't get it to work. So yeah, that was that. And then this almost finished me. This almost ended me as a gamer or as a hobby. It's that.
It looks lovely though.
Yeah, it didn't.
Really good.
It didn't when I was putting it together, and I was frothing like some kind of rabid lunatic.
That isn't by any chance a Warlord's metal gun, is it?
It is, and it didn't want to go. It didn't want to go together. I used my body weight in super glue, trying to get that thing to stay together. It just there's got to be some kind of magical skill behind the type of metal, but it would not go together. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Those 2, and then I spent the weekend just kit bashing, which I'm working on tonight. So more US Airborne. I've painted another base of Landsknechts. These are handgunners, but I've got them. But they are coming up soon. Oh, and I also started a Space Marine.
Awesome. God, yellow card straight away.
I'm going to go one further. What chapter Space Marine, or is it a homebrewed Space Marine?
No, it's I'm currently rereading Flight of the Eisensteins from the Heresy series.
That is an excellent novel.
Because I love Darrow. He's just such a great character. And so I'm doing my own interpretation of Heresy Death Guard. No badges yet. Although I have been badgering these guys.
Oh my God! There goes another rib.
With lots of badger pictures. Because it's just weird. Everywhere I go at the moment, I seem to be followed around by badger pictures. It's uncanny. I think there's some kind of.
I'll tell you what, everywhere I go, I am. And bloody hell, every time I go on the Facebook, somebody puts a bloody badger picture in front of me. And you two are as bad as anybody else. Jesus.
I don't know why that could possibly be, Dom. I don't know why.
Me neither. But that's been my week. Apart from swearing at technology, I am that close to becoming a Luddite when it comes to technology, because I did not have a good week. Let's put it that way. Everything seems to be okay now.
I like where is it? Is it old school? Nice drippy snow. That makes me feel a bit weird for some reason. Drippy snow. But I know what you mean. It does look cold, but yeah. It's that
army painter stuff.
Is that it? Is that purely it? It's just the army painter
stuff and PVA. So what I do is I make it's a horrible way to describe it, but I make a crunchy paste.
Crunchy paste and drippy snow. Yeah, that sounds like you need to go to the doctor.
And then what I do is I get a cocktail stick and I roll it on rather than dab it on. I roll it on with a cocktail stick.
And then child rating on this show.
And then while it's still sort of moist, I then get the more of the army painter snow and just sprinkle it over, so it sticks to the wet surface, but it has like an uneven, crunchy feel to it.
There you go. Crunchy, drippy snow.
Everything you can possibly want to know. I'm intrigued. So what's that in? That's the tree stump at the back. Is that just a real stick you've used?
No, it's willow edging. You get it from Poundland. I got about 3 meters.
That stuff
£1.
again.
It's absolutely brilliant. You can use it as logs. It's dead easy to cut as well. Yeah. So you can use it as you can halve it and put it as logs in the floor, or you can just cut it with a craft knife and snap it with a pair of some clippers.
I'm gonna have to go back to Poundland and get some of that.
So good. Hey!
My magic appears.
There he is. You said his name 3 times. He appears in the mirror like Bloody Mary.
Is it any coincidence that we were talking about badges? Then Ken appears.
I know that and drippy snow.
Drippy snow.
Seems absolutely high quality.
Well, I know. It's good, isn't it?
Can't hear you, mate. I can't hear you.
Can't hear me.
Not very well.
2 seconds.
He'll get it sorted. So just having a look in here, just say, so Lee Gardner, I'm with you, mate. You sure you can get a shot from the doctors for drippy snow? I definitely think someone needs to go sort it out. Jason, Steve, you're not alone. I've just been struggling with the same horrible metal anti-tank gun, ended up soldering it together. Jesus. I sent a message to you guys. We had the swear jar the other week. If I'd have had a swear box that night when I was building that gun, I'd be bankrupt by now. I would have literally no money left. I swore without repeating myself for 2 hours. I don't know what's going on here. James Cutts is just put at Carl Merritt, moist but crackly. So, bad state of affairs to be in, moist but crackly. Oh God! How are you doing, Kenny? You all right? You made it.
Yeah, I'm all right. How's everyone else?
Yeah, we're all right. Good. We haven't really got everybody just been through Steve's. We had an almost perfect opening, which was weird.
Yeah.
But we're definitely getting there. So Dom, while Ken's setting up, what have you been doing? How many armies have you managed to paint this week?
No, only about 3 armies for me.
Boo!
Sorry,
slacking.
No, I spent a fair bit of time trying to work through. So I don't know if you saw. I tried to join in this 8-point Saga Age of Magic challenge thing. So I'm trying to do these elves, but I find it really. I'm really struggling to know how to paint them, what to do with them, and I realise what it is I've got no imagination. So when it comes to just copying a uniform guide, it's fine. So Napoleonic, Second World War, you just go online or get a book out of the library and look it up. But when it's something you have to imagine, it's like I'm imagining so many things that I want to do with it, but I'm not capable of doing it. And then I produce it and I go, oh, that doesn't look how I imagined it to be. So I'm really struggling with that. So I've done 3 of those. So I won't show any of those. That's why I got derailed. Therefore, I went off and did something much easier. So I did a battalion of Russians. Well, actually, it's a funny thing. This is Landsknecks. These are Landsknecks, but I'm using them not Landsknecks. They're Landwehr, but I'm using them as Russian Opolchany. Because apparently, according to the Napoleonic Wargamer channel, the Landwehr uniform was copied from the Opolchany.
Yes, I saw that video.
Tell you what,
I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm doing.
That's what you're going with.
That's what I'm going with. He said it's true, so it must be true.
The combination of those uniforms and that snow, they look rather unhappy.
Well, that's the look I'm going for. Plus, they're about to have a whole load of 12-pounder cannonballs rip through their ranks, so that probably isn't going to help either, is it? So
is that drippy snow?
It will be drippy after they've been standing there being shelled for a while. Damn sure. So they were fun to do, and they're so quick to do. Different versions of.
I like it. I like this. So as soon as we asked you, you said, "Okay, let's put this up." Oh, here we go. Finish every unit in the history of time.
I'm getting bad rep. One day I'm going to come on here and I go, I did 3 figures, and then you're going to go, what? What's going on? What's going on? Well, that wasn't it. I did do more as well because I am me. So I was doing the Naples Army a little while ago. So I'm really impressed by this picture. This is Murat when he was king of Naples, and apparently he designed his own uniform, which was kind of crazy.
Looks like it.
I was going to say, I think those tights that he's wearing are testament to a dude designing his own uniform. Wow. What a brave guy going to battle wearing those.
Isn't it? And do you know what? You can buy that as a figure, which is Gringo 40s do it. So this is it. So I tried to do the same thing, which is quite difficult to do actually, but I was quite pleased with the result at the end.
Oh, it looks very cool. I do like the horse that's wearing a tiger or whatever that is.
Yeah, that's a particularly nice touch, I think, isn't it? You got a tiger on the horse, so you put it on the So that was that. So I did that just because I fancied a change, and then when I was on the Naples theme, he's a big hat. It's true. If the wind blows, he's buggered, absolutely buggered. I did some more Naples infantry. These are more Gringo 40s, just because they had them, and I thought I'd buy them just because I fancied doing them. I do like doing that pink. I don't know why. I really like doing that pink. So I did them. That's that lot. And then Steve will take the piss out of me something rotten here because I bought this figure because I thought I really wanted to have this Rooster, supposed to be Rooster Colbert. And I bought it. Admittedly, it was a little bit late in the evening, but no alcohol was involved. And Gringo do Western figures, and I thought that'd be a brilliant figure. I really like him, and it arrived, and I thought he's a bit big. And then when I sat him down beside the other 28mm figures. I thought, he's a giant of a figure. I thought, talk about scale creep. I should put it up on our little channel thing, and Steve said, "You sure that's 28mm?" And I said, "Yeah." And I went and looked, it's 40mm. So there you go. So 40mm. So that was a bit of a cock up, but never mind. It's a nice figure. So
Yeah, it's a Marshall, isn't he? Rooster.
can't hear you. Ken, your vocals are really bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah, you sound like you're in the toilet.
On the moon.
On the moon, yeah. So then I did, just to console myself, I did these Naples volunteers instead. So there you go. That was my week. That's what I did. Yeah, the leader is by the size of his hat. I might still use him, because he's such a nice character. I might just use him anyway. He can be, he can be the giant of the crew or something.
You see that Neapolitans would be a great army to use. If they ever do anything except lose terribly, it'll be a major achievement.
You know what? Exactly, friends. I thought the same thing. I thought if I beat anybody with them, it would just be such a humiliation. They'll have to go and burn their figures, Ken.
Yeah. Can you hear me all right now?
Oh,
there we go. You can hear your dulcet tones.
No, I was going to say Rooster was a marshal, wasn't he?
He was,
yeah. I love that film. That is a cool western.
I was so excited to get the figure. I thought, brilliant.
No, I like it if they do like it's really weird, like a modern western. I quite like modern stuff.
Oh, it looks like you just shot Martin with a 6-shooter.
Western's a western, in it, mine.
No.
What'd he say?
He said
a western's a western.
No.
No.
Hey, that's true. He could be Mongo from the Blazing Saddles. Good point, Drew. Well done, mate. I knew there was a thing. He's definitely.
I kind of really actually Drew preferred the remake. Can't stand John Wayne. I have to admit, I'm not a John Wayne fan, but I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. So there we are. So Ken, what did you get done?
One figure.
Do we have a photo of said figure?
No, I can hold it up to the camera. It's all right. Yeah, if we zoom it.
Is that
Frodo?
Yeah, wait there. It will focus.
It's focused.
Ish. Oh, come on, you bloody thing.
Damn, I love it that the model is smaller than the callus on your hand.
Yes. It is small, but yeah, that's magazine free done for the Middle Earth stuff. But I did manage to build. I built 36 Landwehr for Austria. For my Austrians, so they're built. They're ready to get. They're ready to be painted next.
Did you say that those were your just kind of like you're like easy? I'm just going to go and do these. I'm just going to go and knock out your everyone's got that thing they go back and just paint to just because they want to do something.
Yeah. So I started making up my ECW stuff, and then realised there's a lot of mold. There's a lot of mold lines on these.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, this is going to be like a main focus project when I'm not doing anything else. So they're getting built, but yeah, that's about it.
Is that the Warlord stuff? Yeah.
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 You've had a haircut.
I know.
I just noticed.
I know. You actually might be the first person that's noticed, apart from my wife. Yes, I can see. I've also changed where the camera goes and sorted out this little room. It's great.
Yeah.
To be 3.5 hours on Saturday to sort this room out, and I got rid of 3 big bin bags of rubbish and sprues. That was painful, throwing out sprues. The eBay box is now full of stuff.
God.
To get rid of, and I've cleared the top over there, ready to get some more storage boxes to fill up again straight away. So it's good. So I only got a couple of things done, but on my end of things, you've probably seen up behind me for the last year up here, I've had like an MDF model up there, and until recently it's just been unpainted and it's just sat there. So as I was tidying up, I just looked at it and I just thought, you know what, I could probably actually knock that out in a few hours, and I did. So I completed this Roman bakery from Gangs of Rome, which is a great game, and I don't play it anywhere near enough as much as I want to. So obviously MDF kit, it's Sarisa Precision. I have 2 complaints about this kit. One is I hate that bit in front of it. Because you see the bit in front with it's just like the street front. I just dislike that. It just annoys me. Personally, I would just rather it was flush or just a small little bit. Just because I just failed to see what to do with it. I could cobble it, but then I was worried about the integrity of the model. I was a bit worried about it. Why don't I just chop it off?
Why don't you just chop it off, mate?
Why don't I just chop it off? Cheers, Dom. Where were you on Sunday?
Or you could put like cobblestones.
I did think about that, but I was like, what if I want to use it somewhere else? But I had a lot of fun painting it, and what I like most is the yard at the back.
Yeah, nice.
So it's bakery. So what I love is you got the oven there, and you've got the thing there for the grain, the mill wheel, and I just wanted it to basically look like a dirty takeaway. like you see
a food hygiene rating 1.
Yeah, that's what I look. So I created that at the back, and again, because there's no texture on these bases, at the back I just used weathering pigments to put various splodges, and then loads of washes first, just all sorts, just created, threw everything in a bottle, lots of different inks, and I just put various weathering pigments in there, and then sealed it all just to get sort of like staining. But it's all you get like it all opens up as well, and above that there's 2 more floors. So it is the focus of this, because I got the it's called Bread and Circuses, the starter set, and they're you've got to do lots of things like get into the bakery and steal the bread to feed the masses, and whoever feeds the masses the most gets the favor, and it's quite fun. But there's like a little shot through. I was quite pleased with how it came out. Took me about
nice artist shot, that mate. Well done.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, there's another mill wheel in the middle of the thing, but yeah, it was fun. And then over the weekend as well, I finished 2 bases of my Calais veterans for the Wars of the Roses, and I decided to go full St. George's cross on them, which they'd have worn in when they're over in France. But there seems to be a bit of getting the unit. Basically, there's a bit of a debate about whether they'd have worn that or whether they'd have worn the colours of whoever was the captain of Calais at that time, in which case, this case is Warwick, or whether that would have been on a sash.
It's always freaking Warwick, isn't it?
No, it depends if who's king at the time. If it depends who he's put on the throne at the time.
Always frigging Warwick in it.
You see,
that's a great one. I like that.
It's always frigging Warwick. There you go. But I had a lot of fun doing those. But I wanted them to be like grizzly veterans, so I've given them all bucklers and swords as well, so they're armed to the teeth. I wanted them to be a bit sort of like a bit dirty, look like they've come over on boats, which they were transported over, and then ready to do some damage. So I've got them. I've just got to do the middle base, which is the billman, and on them though, I'm going to, just so that they show who they're aligned to, I've got lots of little Warwick banners, so there'll be a Warwick banner in there. But the cool thing, originally when he was Captain of Calais the first time, and they came over, they decided not to betray their king, and they deserted Warwick and the rest of the army in the night and went to go and fight for Henry. That obviously didn't go so well, because the guy who did it, whose name was Trollope, got knighted and then got killed at Towton for his trouble. So it doesn't always work out. But yeah, so I've got those. So they're a bit of fun to paint, and then I'm going to be working on the command base for the bloke who's in charge of them. So that's going to be a lot of fun, because I was trying to make someone look really mean is actually quite hard. And I could be doing a massive disservice. This guy might have been really nice, but with a name like the Bastard of Falkenberg, which is obviously nothing to do with his character, just the fact he's illegitimate. I just thought, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He was a pirate. He missed. His sole task was to stop Edward IV coming back to reclaim his throne, but because he was off plundering some Portuguese ships, he missed him. So it's just.
If he's a pirate, don't you just do him with a patch and one wooden leg and a parrot on his shoulder? No, you do.
I think so. I have a sneaking suspicion, and the guy, one of the characters from Game of Thrones, who's like the pirate, I can't remember his name. He's one of the Greyjoys. Is partly based on him. And he just has a massive.
You mean the uncle?
Yeah, Euron.
Yeah, Euron.
Yeah. I think he's partly based on him. So yeah. But let's have a look at the comments. So yeah.
Could you buy? I was just going to say, could you buy some of those Lord of the Ring models, and would there be a character in there that you could convert?
Yeah, potentially. I suppose they're sculpted by the Perrys, so that they'll be the same scale. I've got my
I mean Game of Thrones figures. You know, the ones that
the new ones. They're a bit.
Yeah, I wonder whether they would work with probably the wrong scale, but
they are just. They're quite. I think they're 32mm heroic scale. They're definitely quite chunky. Yeah. Certainly the ones I've seen. Looking at the comments, Yorkshire Dragoon says that's not even a full-size figure. Ken talking about Frodo.
That was a quality comment. I love that one.
Louis Baby's continuing his hatred for the Prussian Landwehr figures.
He hates them, doesn't he?
He does.
They took me about 2 hours to paint 26 figures or something. They're so bloody easy to paint. But
James Cuts, just because Dom's figure was 40mm, to quote Gimli, it still only counts as one. That's very true. Doesn't matter how big the figure is, mate. Still only counts as one.
Yeah, very true.
What else? What's it? What else we got here? One day Ken is going to build an army in a week, and the rest of us is going to sit speechless for the rest of the day.
I've only been like that for a couple of weeks. No, a couple of weeks. Got to admit, I've been a bit lazy the last couple of months. It has been a very lazy me, but I've got so much things I'm doing. It's like I'm painting these bloody Japanese ships at the minute because I want to play with them on Thursday. That should hopefully be good.
Well, are you having a game? Who are you having a game against?
Liam's coming over.
Bolt action?
No. Victory at sea. Yeah. Oh yes. Get these bad boys done.
Someone's just said, I've just lost a comment. I lost it. Someone just said that my bakery looked like a dodgy kebab shop in Iron Napa. Miller's here, everybody.
Miller.
So
Miller.
There's the
I've just found David has just given me the most wonderful opportunity here. You see this one? Those soldiers were well intentioned, but they were always defeated because they fell off their horses. The fourth Neapolitan chasseurs just got to be done. That's it. That's what I'm using. That's the next unit. Thank you. Yeah. Perfect. Model them all falling off their horses.
Should do. Louis Baby's come back and just said, "I wonder if he was a bastard. Maybe he was just a thoroughly unlikable rascal of a chap. He was thoroughly stupid. I know that." He turned up at London and said, "I want to support my cousin, the Earl of Warwick." And the Mayor of London went, "Yes, he died 2 weeks ago and his body's on display at St. Paul's." And this guy just went, "I don't believe you." And the Mayor went, "You can come and have a look if you like. Just leave your army outside." this chap was then sort of went along. Well, in that case, I'll team up with his brother, my other cousin, the Earl of Montagu, and we've got him as well. We've got all the Nevilles hanging from various bits of the city. Why don't you go? And he didn't believe them, so he lay siege to the city, and then eventually decided, they're probably telling the truth. So,
guy sounds
there you
like
go.
a bit of a knob.
He was, yeah.
I'd love to play poker with that guy. I'd be making a fortune.
I know, it's great. So Imaginary Conflicts is just popped in. Hello, mate. Liam is in. Liam, that's my friend in Cambridge. Hello, mate. I hope you're well. And Sam Beckett. And how is everyone doing? Right. So today's topic is wargaming wish lists, and that's just come off the back of. A lot of the time on here, we talk about, rules that we'd like to see in games or things that we want to see in systems. And it always just off the cuff comments. So I was struggling to think of a topic. So I thought, there we go. That makes a good one. we'll have a look. So basically for you guys in the comments as well, what do you want to see in a game that hasn't been done yet? Or what do you want to see? Do you have a favorite game, but wish there was a certain system from another game? Like, do you wish there was a campaign system in Bolt Action? Do you wish that there was a character progression or something in how does it work? So, or is there some models that you guys that on your wish list that you really want that you just haven't got, or that you're unhappy with the range that is out? That isn't an invitation to bash any ranges that are out, but feel free. Sorry, just going to answer this. Miller, Ken, he missed this, so Miller's just said, "How's your ECW going?"
I built some. There you go. I built some.
So let's throw it out here. So Steve, what about you? What's on your wargaming wish list? If you could, if you've got no sort of boundaries, what does Steve, the wargamer, want?
This is going to surprise a lot of people, but not Ken. I'd love Games Workshop to re-release original Space Marine from the early 90s, new figures, but keep the rules exactly the same as they were.
That would be nice.
And if they did that, they'd have a guaranteed customer in me, because I loved that game back in the day, and the rules were just simple and they worked, and you could have huge, great big games. So that's my way. It's a bit of an odd one for me, because people probably thought it'd be World War II or Bolt Action related, but no. If I could have anything, it would be an updated release of the original Space Marine.
Okay, all right. So if anyone from Games Workshop for some reason watches this, probably not.
Probably not.
There you go. So is that like, do you just have loads of good memories of playing that, and you just want to? Yeah. It
was sort of back. So it was. I got it in about 1992, 93. So I was relatively new to the hobby, and it was completely different.
Sorry. Did you hear that? Say that again, Ken.
I was 1 in 92.
Shut up. You young whippersnapper, you. No, so I was kind of new to the hobby, but it was a completely different change from what I'd been painting. And I just remember spending hours and hours painting this. It was a Crimson Fist Space Marine army, but I had whole companies of Land Raiders and Whirlwinds and Vindicators, and there was just. And the games, they didn't like, even though there was loads, the games lasted 2 or 3 hours, and it just seemed to work. And for me, it was just a great wargaming memory that I would love them to not fanny around with the rules, don't
fannying around.
No fannying. Just release that new figures, yes, because let's face it, they're a bit crap, the ones back in the 90s. But they did. Well, something. I mean, that no, some of them were. I mean, the bog standard Space Marines were a bit dull, but the ones you got in the box are the Devastators, the Assault Marines, and the Terminators. They were brilliant. But if they did updated figures, but just kept the rules, don't touch them, don't even look at them, just release them. I would be all over that like tramps on chips. Honestly, it would be one of the best things that they've ever done.
Like tramps on
chips. I mean, I suppose that's the fear, though, isn't it? I mean, especially if your fingers are re-released, that you isn't the worry that you'll re-release it, and but even if they don't change the rules, you might replay it, and in the years since you've been playing other games, you might go, actually, my memories of this are kind of idealized, and this is kind of crap. Which is how I feel about the kids' TV show Nightmare, because I remember Nightmare being amazing, right? I don't know if you guys know. Like, do you guys know Nightmare?
I know it.
Yeah,
where
it's like where the guy, they get one kid and he puts on a helmet and it was all gothic, and his friends were like, take 5 steps forwards, and he'd walk forward and they're like, duck, because there's a goblin and things like that. And I rewatched it on UK Gold, and it's shit. It is really, really bad. It is really bad.
Do you know what the best thing about that was, though, is you could see friendships disintegrate because one guy doesn't know left from right.
That's it. They're going to take 1 step to your left and then just
the right.
You fell into oblivion, you idiot.
The best ever on Nightmare was there was something called Hodris the cat, and they just basically got a cat and shrunk it down and put it on the screen. I was like, great name, but as far as special effects go, subpar.
All the special effects were absorbed by all the budget was on the skull that would slowly disintegrate as the timer ran out, and on the awesome animated opening to the cool heavy metal soundtrack, which was then nothing like the series. But anyway, sorry, we digress. So Ken, sorry. So Ken, you obviously like Space Marine. So is that a similar thing for you? Is that something you would like? Would you like that to be re-released?
Yeah, I love it. I played it when I was a bit older, probably 2001, maybe 10 years after Steve, 2002. And painted it. Well, didn't get to paint it up, just had the little figures, but since redoing it, it's been awesome. I've got my 2 armies. I can play it whenever I want. But yeah, I would like them to re-release the models. I'm not too fussed about the rule sets because, again, I can just play with the old rules. As long if there was a new model line, it'd be awesome.
Okay.
But I just can't see him doing it because it's
no.
Well, a different scale.
Haven't they? It's sometimes the things are just best left in the past, which isn't good for me because obviously that's my job to dig them up. But I make a living out of that. But sorry. But
if they weren't left in the past, you wouldn't be able to dig them up, mate. So that's fine.
No.
I know. Well, that's very true. Let's see what some of the guys are. Medieval Wargamers here. Hello, mate. I hope you're doing well.
Hello, mate.
And we've got so Owen Douglas says, I'd love some good old Franco-Prussian war models that don't come in tiny sets. I don't know what size those ones size come in that you got.
Well, they're about 16s or something, aren't they? So I know what he means. They're not.
But he's about to get his wish answered because Perry's going to be their Perry's, and they'll probably be 30, 40 in that box. I imagine they'll be so in luck. You're in luck. They're going to be coming out.
Yeah, they're on your way, Owen.
They're definitely coming. Travis says he wishes there were readily accessible 6mm ACW minis in the States. Because we've got backers, haven't we, over here?
No, I saw he put it on Twitter. He's having problems getting the actual size of the army that he wants. I think he wants to do a recreation, so he wants masses. But I just don't think he's having. He's having about
50 quid limits at the minute. You should have asked me about 2 months ago. I traded a load of ACW for ECW. I'd have gladly sold it.
And then he wouldn't be crying right now about all the mold lines that he's having to deal with. Liam says Titan. Do you mean a Titan? You want a Titan or because there's Adeptus Titanicus, the game, isn't there?
Yeah.
I know that. Leslie has asked how Miller's Fort is coming along. Be patient. Be patient. And in fact, everybody be patient because we're going to have a little announcement later today.
Oh, yeah. Very exciting announcement.
Oh, yes.
Very exciting announcement. I'll just kick Ken so that he doesn't say anything. There we go. And then Owen Douglas, a bit of a wide-ranging one. He wishes that more systems had better rules for light cavalry. Okay.
I sort of get what he means. It's.
I'm hot.
Oh, there's a little one.
Are you?
But I have to show your friends this.
You want to show my friends? Okay. This is my daughter, everybody, and she wants to show everybody the picture of her with Santa. which then shakes up.
And
Very
snow
nice.
comes down too. Snow is open.
That's where the snow
It
addiction
does.
comes from, you see.
Come with you.
Go on. So, I'm pretty sure we've put her to bed like 3 times now.
That's
sorry.
the best episode of the podcast in the entire how many series we've run so far. That's brilliant.
It's coming. Oh no! There we go. So sorry, light cavalry. In what way? In a harassing way? Because I mean,
I suppose the
games
thing is, in a lot of systems, they're like poor heavy cavalry. So they're, you know,
They're not
I guess
used in the
I don't
role,
know.
are
I
they?
mean, I've just lost a head. Oh damn.
They're not used in their role, are they? They're not
Then-
reconnaissance.
I suppose the trouble with light cavalry generally is their role primarily. It depends on the period, right? Doesn't it? So if you look at Napoleonics, light cavalry's role was before the battle really happened, and at the end of the battle when one side was running away. I mean, they apart from sort of a little bit, they didn't really get heavily involved. So but I don't know, not quite sure.
I have got an idea on that. Why don't you do a little skirmish game beforehand with just light cavalry on both sides, and make it like some home rules? So, like, whoever's victorious, you can force an enemy unit to come on at a certain point on the board.
Yeah, there is I think it's an ancient rule set that does something similar. Depending on the composition of your forces and the battlefield you're fighting, if you've got light cavalry in a very open, for instance, it will give you an advantage in deployment.
Well, that's it. One of the things I'll talk about in a bit, because I've actually got a rule book ready to tell you guys. It actually sort of involves light cavalry in a system. But no, I think I see what you mean. The thing is, but then we've said the same about artillery as well, haven't we? The thing is, as soon as you up one system, you've got to balance that somewhere else. Steve Harbour, he said generic plastic hobbits. Do you mean like a multi-pose set? Wargames Atlantic, you could suggest it to them. They'll do you
oh God, don't get me started on that.
I know we've got that coming up in the news section in a bit, haven't we? But
I swear someone does halflings. I swear.
TT they do. Is it TT Combat? They do a halflings, don't they?
It was on the front of one of the magazines recently, didn't they? Give away a sprue of them. Generic sort of hobbits or something. I'm sure I've got them somewhere in the stash. I wouldn't have bought them.
We've got here. Wish I wasn't waiting. This person wishes he wasn't waiting a year for his Mythic Battles Ragnarok Kickstarter.
Well, if you only wait a year for a Kickstarter, you're doing well, mate.
As well, Lee, I can tell you as well. That'd be a pain because I love that game because my mate got it on the Kickstarter in the first one, and we play it quite a lot. Oh, no, hang on. Ragnarok. Oh, no, we played the other one, Pantheon. Yeah, Ragnarok's the new one, isn't it? That's the Viking one. Ken immediately just switched off.
Viking what?
Exactly. Lionheart would like to see plastic 7th Cavalry or a set of plastic mounted boars. Hey?
Very
right. Sorry, when he said boars, he means Boer War. I was like, okay. I was like, what? You want a pig riding a horse?
We're not on the Badgers yet. Jesus.
I saw a picture yesterday of a Badger knight being ridden into battle on the back of a hippo. I thought I'd been sat near the super glue a bit too long.
I know, that's it. Shrink7 says Extradite Elder for me. Loads of people play Rogue Trader with the originals. That's pretty cool. Liam says he's talking about a full-size Titan if money was no object. If money was no object, we wouldn't be in these houses, and we'd have massive wargaming rooms, and that would be sort of where we are. So that's sort of Steve's one. Ken, what about you, mate? What's on your wargaming wish list? What would be your sort of thing that what are you looking for?
I would like Dom to be able to patent his time machine so he'd be able to let us all have a go at painting freaking miniatures. That'd be nice. Would be number one. But for me, it's a tricky one because I would like to get more into the medievals. I would like a bit more range on the 100 Years War in plastics would be nice. Bit of more varied poses and a few more torsos maybe. If someone else made a box set and they were like same scale as sort of the Perry's, just different poses and bits and bobs, That would be nice. A bit like your French and that you got now. You've obviously got different manufacturers making them, but
so it's yours mainly around like you just want sort of wider variety in kits and models.
Just for the 100 years. I know you got your Wars of the Roses stuff, but it would be nice if the 100 Years War got a bit more love.
Well, the 100 Years War, I think, is some of their more recent. So the Wars of the Roses, I think, is some of the first kits that they did. I think. Yeah. So they've been it quite a while, and they've gone away from it. So I know the Agincourt stuff because there's Foot Knights, French Knights, English Archers. I think there's 3 kits at the moment.
Cavalry as well. There are cavalry.
Yeah.
Men at Arms on the cavalry.
I suppose the big problem is there isn't, which is obviously why I'm sort of I'm trying to research as much as I can just to find reasons to like kit bash. Is there's not a massive amount of unit variety. I don't know. Mind you, you've got Medieval Wargamer watching at the moment, and you have got you're talking plastics, but you've obviously got Claymore castings.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Wicked was, there's
loads. Metals. But the good thing about the plastics is obviously there's the kit bashing potential for a lot easier stuff. You can obviously mix, and you've been doing that with your Wars of the Roses stuff, kit bashing away. But it'd just be nice to have a few different poses. I know there's quite a few poses, but just a few extra. I think.
What about like on the rules side of things? Because obviously I watched your appearance on Modelling for Advantage the other day, and they obviously brought up the fact that obviously you were 40k player, fantasy player, you came over to bolt action, and then you slowly got they said I remember when you were painting up, was it offensive miniatures, Napoleonics, and they nearly killed you, and you've come into sort of like into more historical periods. So now you're looking at you've done some medievals. You're going to be looking at ECW. Is there anything that you would like to see though in those rule systems? Like,
like I was just saying. Then I like the idea of instead of match play, more scenario. So you can do little skirmishes beforehand, and that affects the bigger battle.
Yeah.
So like I was saying about the cavalry skirmish, but actually put it into like a campaign system. So like if you were playing bolt action, for example, just want to point out 100 stream on the stream.
Yeah. Hey! Bizarre. I need a party popper. I ain't got a party popper, but I will get a beer.
Yes, of course he will. He's right next to him. Git. I can't even have a drink. Some at work. No, I do like the idea of like having little smaller games that maybe last only 20 minutes that may influence a game.
Hang on, there you go. Hey! Why do you have a party popper? Why a party popper? There we go. I was hanging.
101. Look at that.
101.
Just there we go. 101. There you go.
But yeah, just something small, 15 minutes long that you can play before the game, and it might, give one player an advantage, or not even an advantage. Maybe just gives them a few more options. It just adds a bit more to the night, I think, than just having one game of putting models on the table.
Well, we're going to be having a game of Black Powder soon, aren't we? In June, so maybe we could do some. We'll do a pre-battle back. We'll do some skirmishing and try and maybe claim positions on the battlefield before the game. See how that works out.
That would be quite cool. See what it does. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Let's see what Peter Elfroy was saying. Louis Baby, Peri-Napoleonic Hungarians. Also 200 to a box for 20 quid. Perfectly reasonable.
We'll ask them for you, Louis. Don't worry. We'll ask them.
Yeah. We'll ask our friends, the Perrys.
Our friends, the Perrys. I'm sure they'll listen.
Our friends, the Perrys.
We have got to get them back on. To be fair.
And then the next comment is Perry-Plastic ECW 30 Years War. It will never happen, but I can dream. Yeah, that seems to be a common one, but it was one of the first questions that was asked the first time, wasn't it? And they flat out said they weren't going to do it. So I don't know. Maybe if they get enough people badgering them, they will. They will maybe.
Excuse the badger jokes.
Maybe the Perrys could do a multi-pose plastic badge, like a plastic animal set.
I'd love that.
Perry miniature goodness. Batman said, aren't they bringing back old Warhammer? I believe they are. They've got no time scale on it, and no one knows yet in what format, whether that's going to be small scale game like the old Warmaster stuff, which is obviously Warmaster is what Black Powder is based off, and or whether that's going to be. I don't think they've got a timescale on it, have they? Because they've just announced third edition Age of Sigmar.
That was announced 2 years ago, and they said not before 3 years. So they are releasing a lot more info about it.
Okay.
So
it's be interesting. Miller is throwing shade at you, Ken, for GW to release some Ultramarines wearing French Shakos.
I'm never going to live that one down. Hang on.
I always feel like the French in the Napoleonic ranges are a bit like the Ultramarines and the Space Marines because they. You what? I always feel like the French in the Napoleonic ranges are a bit like the Ultramarines and the Space Marines because they. You what? I always feel.
Just for old time's sake, I throw that one in there.
You keep forgetting to delete it, Ken. But the thing is,
I did delete it. Then he re-uploaded the bloody.
I imagine
thing.
He's got it saved and backed up and on the cloud.
Oh, I got plenty of copies.
To be fair, I've downloaded it off of here now, so it exists in so many places.
For fuck's sake.
So many places. What else have we got here? So Jason Horn says the return of 40k squats. That is a common thing.
Yes.
I've seen the 40k squats, and I had the second edition of 40k, and I had all of the data cards for all the really cool looking squat vehicles. Again, Dom's probably just sitting there going, "What the hell are they talking about?"
They're like hobbits. Space.
They're speaking another language for all I know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
And just to go back to Space Marine as well, the squats had a huge range of choices. They had gyrocopters, they had giant, great big airships, they had bikes, they had trikes. They had fully exo armored killing machines. The whole range was brilliant, and for Space Marine.
I do agree. James Cutts has an interesting one. He wishes more games would use dice other than D6. Who is it? Dom, is it you that likes D10?
No, don't particularly, mate. No.
I can't remember. I thought it was someone who had.
I mean, Muskets and Tomahawks runs off D10s. And actually, bizarrely, because I thought that'd be quite interesting to try that, it does seem to throw up a lot more. I suppose there's a lot more variations with it, so it does throw up a lot more odd results somehow, which I'm not sure I actually like, to be fair.
Isn't Infinity D10s or D100s?
No, Infinity's D20. That's D20, and I really like Infinity is one of those games that you can look at and your mind will just explode when you try to read it, but actually when you play it, it does sort of make quite a lot of sense. That being said, I haven't played it for it in a couple of years, so it could have completely changed. But I play Fire and Sword uses D10s. Burrows and Badgers uses D4, D6, D8, D10s, D12s, and D20s.
There's a lot of dice in there, yes.
Depending on the animal, so your strength
and your lucky rabbit's ears probably as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you get one of those. I don't know. Maybe that might not be a good thing at a Burrows and Badgers convention. If you get out your lucky rabbit's foot, that's probably not going to go down very well.
Does anybody else sort of? It's funny. I was thinking about that when I saw that point about dice, and thinking, would it be nice to have a rule set that didn't actually had any kind of dice rolling? No. Or is the fun of the dice rolling part of what you enjoy in the game? I don't know, because you want to have the variety in it, but also sometimes the sheer variety of results can really throw out a game. You know those games when you go and you really look forward to a battle, and it's your one night of the week where you're going to have a game, and your rolls are just in the toilet, and your opponent is just rolling like a god, and within 2 turns it's all over.
That's me playing every single game.
That's Ken playing bloody Muskets and Tomahawks against me the first time we played, to be fair. It made me think afterwards, it's like, would it be better not to have any kind of dice rolls in it? But then other times when you have those wonderful times when you just, I just need a 1 here or just need a 6 here and you roll it, it's just joyful, isn't it? So I don't know.
It's ecstasy, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is odd. I mean, I know at least 3 games that I've got that don't use any dice at all. Which is I used to play this is Malifaux, which is use a playing card deck, and you draw cards, which lets you influence that deck a little bit as well. And also you get to read probability, because by the time you started, when both jokers have come out, that you're not going to pull that bad card. Also, Freebooter's Fate is another game that doesn't use any, and the one which we're going to have on the channel, which Carl kindly gave me the miniature, Moonstone, that doesn't have any. Actually, well, the only thing it uses dice for is your objectives, and you hold a bunch of D4 like this above the board at the start of the game, and you let go, say 5 D4, they drop on the board. That's where the Moonstones are buried, and the number that's on them is the number of actions you've got to spend digging them up. And then the rest of it's quite quirky. From my experience, I mean, I don't mind diceless games, but I think they're Marmite to some people. Some people just can't; they don't want to do it at all. Other people love them.
The problem with diceless games, unless they're really cleverly done, is they can become incredibly predictable. You know, I know that this unit going up against this unit, or this guy going up with this guy, he's going to win every time. At least when you've got a chance of your Hanoverians turning away the guard, that kind of thing. It's an outside chance, but when it happens, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yes.
Funny. Friends of General Haig says strongest doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't. And I was watching Medieval Warrior again, Nick's battle, not report. He did a review of it about a year ago of that system, and the guy who does To the Strongest, that's where I get those bases from for my Wars of the Roses, because he uses 6x4 mats, but they've got a grid on them. It's all grid-based movement as well on a battlefield, but you can't. It's very imperceptible, because I was a bit like, I don't know how I feel about that. The grid.
Yeah, I don't like that. Put me off completely on those.
But they're so. It's you don't necessarily have to mark that grid. Like I think each grid square is 12. It's a foot square,
right?
You could mark it with a house or a tree or a bush or a bit of road. I've seen people. I've been on the internet. People have just set up battlefields and just marked it out. Or you buy the mats, and there's a very imperceptible little cross. You barely notice it.
I've seen those mats.
Yeah.
So, but they still have some sort of dice system for combat resolution, or they still use the cards?
I think it's cards.
Right. Okay.
I still think it's cards. It's something to have to look into.
But there's still a variability coming in, because you're still turning the cards. So it's just replacing cards with dice for cards, rather.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Evil Jim Reaper has said that he's looking for some undead plastic samurai and maybe some kind of D&D mass battle crossover, or undead Napoleonics. That could be awesome. So he's on some massive. Someone makes undead Napoleonics.
Oh,
there used to be a really good system years ago called, was it Flintlock or something like that? It was a Napoleonic skirmish game where all the major nations were represented by Lord of the Rings type races.
Right.
So the French were, I can't even remember what the races were. Some of the older viewers might be able to say, but I think the Brits were orcs, from what I remember. Don't know why. It should have been the Russians, but anyway. But it was really cool. Yeah. There's I was thinking of a system, because I was thinking about undead Napoleonics, and I genuinely think that Dead Man's Hand would work really well with Napoleonic models, because you have the reload markers that you could put on. You've got you've already got rules for one-shot weapons. So I thought that you could have some riflemen, and there's already rules for the undead, because I've got those for the Curse of Dead Man's Hand. So I was thinking you could have 4 guys in a farmhouse somewhere in Belgium, and all the French dead, or whatever, maybe a bit tasteless, I don't know, but I thought that could be quite fun. Sort of going down, because we've had loads. Thinking about undead samurai, I know we can get undead metal samurai, Jim. If so, give me a message. There's a Kensei sell those, and they're very nice. We have a Facebook user. Oh, there we go. Hello from God's Own Scale. Hello. If you can come over to YouTube, come on YouTube, because if you do it on Facebook, all we can see is Facebook user. It won't come up with your name. If you pop over to YouTube, we'll see who's talking to us. Or if you want anonymity, just stay on Facebook. Stay on Facebook. Keep away from the chaos.
And Salt of you says, you think he first bought something from GW in 83 to 84, but it sold any type of gaming stuff. Wow, there's been so many comments in here. So, okay, so Ken, you're looking for sort of, just some more sort of variety in your figures, and also, but just in like a pre-game setup to influence the main game.
And if they re-released all those Lord of the Ring mags, I'd buy them all again.
Even though you've just bought them.
Yeah, I know. But if they release them with new models, I'd buy them again. So yes, that'd be nice. But we can dream.
Epic Joey says he'd like a proper plastic World War One range and some rules to accompany it. Someone's done World War One recently. Plastics. Was that War Games Atlantic?
Yeah, they did that.
French
infantry. I think it's a dual kit where you get enough on the sprue to make early war French World War Two, and also French World War One.
Oh, here we go. Is something we can all comment. Harry Clay. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on the comments because I've just been coming in thick and fast. He says he's new to this and he just bought the Waterloo starter set for his British Army. Just wondering what else to buy to get your army going.
Nothing.
So the
paint that first.
It comes with what is it? It comes with Hanoverians, unit of Hanoverians, a unit,
line.
2 units of line, and a cannon, doesn't it?
And an officer.
Do you know the one thing that every British Army needs? 95th rifles, doesn't it?
It does.
No.
Yeah, you need a 95th
No,
rifle.
don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Buy cavalry. No.
Buy cavalry.
In fact, buy two, paint them, and send one to me. No, he's right. 95th rifles. I mean, it's almost. I mean, a lot of you just don't. You need the 95th. Like, why would you? If you were playing British, why would you not take? You're probably going to
You've got to have the 95th in the British.
Yeah.
If you go over, plug for another channel, but Napoleonic Wargaming is just doing a series at the moment of playing the British in black powder. He did the British cavalry the first episode, and then he's just done the British infantry. It's really cool. So if you want some advice, and he knows those rules really, really well, go over there. But yeah, I'd go rifles next, and then maybe a cavalry unit.
Rockets. If you want to have a laugh, rockets.
Yeah,
rockets are great fun.
Oh, rockets are great fun. I think every
a great
British army should have rockets in it
because they're just. Shrink7 said no breaking that open for snow. I think he's talking about my daughter's picture. I haven't quite been that desperate yet, but it's always a possibility. I did steal her little trees for Bushido.
Oh yeah, we should have asked her about how she feels about her trees, shouldn't we?
She doesn't even know about it. She
that's why we should have asked her.
You mean
parent. So I know. So just going through quickly. God, you guys have sent in loads. Sam Beckett, an ECW set of rules that knows how to use pike blocks. Don't say that. I'm about to play pike and shot.
I think he probably means that sort of push of pike that really happened rather than necessarily casualties being removed. But again, I think that falls down in the category of playable games versus historic simulations, I think, because I hear that a lot about pike. It's like pike just pushed each other. They didn't actually, nobody was killed until the one side ran. But if you did that on a gaming table, it'd be a bit boring, really, wouldn't it? Just there's a pipe block stuck together. There's another pipe block, and everything else is going on around it. But
everyone's Ranger agrees with you, Ken. That more 100 Years War stuff is needed. And then James Cut just threw a bit of shade at you. Oh dear. Miller, of course, would love another ECW Plastics.
Of course he would.
Jason Horn, updated Rules of Engagement set. And so, okay. That's interesting. That is interesting. There you go. Here's a good one. Luke Farrell. I wish there was easily accessible Trojan War plastics.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a bit different, isn't it?
Because I don't think there are any, are there? I think it's just
Bronze Age.
Foundry do metals, and I think that's about it.
I've never even thought. I've never even thought about gaming Trojan War.
No.
But do you do it? But do you game it historical, or do you game it actually like the Iliad, where the gods and the Amazons?
It's got to be Iliad. I mean,
Iliad.
What about that?
You could do
what's
it like
that
the film.
football game. I keep thinking of forgetting the name. That Greek game.
Mortal Gods.
Mortal Gods. That would be right
Yeah.
for that if they don't already do it.
Yeah. What was that, Ken?
You could be like the film.
I don't mind that.
You could have Brad Pitt running around.
I mind that. I don't have a great. I mean, apart from some of the, you take out the obvious things in that film. No, I did some things. I appreciate what that film was trying to do.
It wouldn't be bad, to be fair.
I just like it because Sean Bean survives. He survives.
That's the rarity for Sean Bean. That.
And I would actually say, and I'm previous, but I think in that film, I think the fight between Hector and Achilles out the front of the gates of Troy, the one-on-one fight, is one of the best movie fights, one-on-one fights that's been filmed. I think it's brilliant, that fight. And then he did tie him to the chariot and drag him around like the Iliad. There's some other bits of that film which, I don't like so much, but without me. But I really think that fight was brilliant. I really do. I'm probably going to get annihilated in the comments now. Ranger says he'd have to have proper Gerbig and Balkan partisans. Okay.
Yeah, because the Warlord ones are more sort of Eastern Front, Alpine sort of. They've got the chunky sweaters and I can certainly see why it'd be good. I actually kit bashed my Deberjager, and they were a lot of fun. So that might be something I might do at a later date because that sounds intriguing.
Okay.
Could you? I mean, the Balkan partisans. Could you not adapt the ones that are the French set that are out now, and also
the war game? I think that will be a base for so many different partisans around Europe. I think you'd be able to get all kinds out of that.
I will get that set because to expand my partisan forces. It does look like a cool set.
It does look really good.
I wonder if you could mix. Could you mix that with some of the weapons from the upcoming plastic set from for Dead Man's Hand, and just mix in some 6-shooters and. Why not?
That'd look really good, actually.
And you can do the reverse, bring a flamethrower into one of your Dead Man Hangs games. That'd be quite fun.
Why not? Leslie has got these youngsters, when the older amongst us started, we were lucky if you could get one figure for some periods. You were lucky to have it. You had to convert to a musician. Just don't have the musician.
Very true.
Don't have the drummers because they're evil and horrible.
No, so this show just gets better and better. I'm not quite sure which part you're referring to, but we'll try. Maybe that's with our amazing special effects with the
no expense spared around these parts.
She had a party popper. I have no idea.
We are in the second half now. Just point out.
We are. Don't worry, we're getting there. But before we do that, I'm going to ask Dom. Dom, what is on your Wargaming wish list? Mainly because I want to break Ken in anticipation.
Oh, blimey, I've forgotten now what you wanted me to say. Actually, to be fair, I think a lot of the stuff that's already gone before, apart from the stuff around 40k, which I have no idea what you were talking about. But I think the bits. The one, I think, overarching thing that I hanker after, and it may be just because I just haven't played enough games with anything else yet, but is a really good, fast play but realistic ancients and medieval rules set for a big game, for big battles, where a bit like Black Powder, where you can play it in 3 or 4 hours, or 2-3 hours, play a decent sized game. And I know Hail Caesar's out there, but that just doesn't feel quite right to me. I still like the casualty removal stuff often. I don't like it when it's just like the unit. In a big battle, often many of the systems, the units become just a block. It could be anything. You could replace that group of figures that you spent hours painting to be a brick, and that would have the same effect as everything going on. And I don't much like that. I want it to have some kind of individualism within it. So that's what I'm hankering after, is just a rule set that gives that sort of individualism within the units and within how they perform, but you can play a fastish play big battle, ancients or medieval.
Mm.
So you can just knock that one up for me. That'd be great. Or tell me where I can go. And I know everybody has their favourites and the strongest and all these other things, but
you've got to try Baron's War. Could Baron's War fill that?
Baron's War, I'm going to try that. And that does look really good. I took that away with me on holiday and started reading most of it. And it does look very good. But that's a skirmish game. That's a skirmish game. And I think there's some really good skirmish games out there. You know, that it looks absolutely brilliant. Some of these new ones for your period are brilliant as well. But I'm thinking big battles. Big battles.
What about Impetus? Impetus is for large battles with large bases of lots of troops. You know, sort of 20, 20.
Again, from what I see, it just looks like they're a block. They're a big block of, they could be anything.
Yeah, there's no figure. You're right. There's no figure removal.
There's no. Well, it doesn't even have to necessarily be figure removal because in Black Powder there isn't. But it just feels like they're a unit, of individual unit rather than just a group of something and random stuff. If I'm explaining myself properly. General Haig's just said it here. Warhammer Ancient Battles with Command and Control. That's a good shout because I used to love WAB. I thought that was a really good system, but it had no command and control. So it was very limited, but it was great fun to play, and the games were fairly quick. And there was a bit of variety. I like sort of what in Napoleonics are like national characteristics, and in Ancients, I want the units to have a flavour of what I think they should be like, or some of the things they should be like, rather than just a generic force.
Yeah,
and so, that makes sense.
Okay, all right, that's cool. No, I mean that's fair enough. I mean, with the medieval stuff. I mean, obviously, I'm using Hail Caesar, but we've modified it to suit our needs. Because there hasn't been anything yet that sort of fit it. Because never mind, the billhooks is too small a scale for the type of games that I want to play. And there's a couple of things in there which there's some things there that I really like, and some things in there which I'm not a fan of. Hail Caesar again, it just because of the period I'm playing it kind of falls right at the end of the Hail Caesar period, just before Pike and Shot. We've had to adapt quite a bit, so it can be really hard finding the rule set.
I'd like to have a go at how you play it. One day we must have a game, and you show me how you play that because there is a lot in Hail Caesar I like, and it's obviously based on Black Powder, and that familiarity's there, which is kind of cool. I quite like the command system, and I think that's kind of good. But again, I think it's just there isn't enough variety in there. I mean, the beautiful thing I think about particularly Ancients is just the sheer variety of troops, different styles of units, and people with different types of pointy sticks and things that will bash you over the head. And
that's it.
And if they're all the same,
types of pointy sticks. That's the best way of summing up military history in the last 2,000 years. They all had different types of pointy sticks.
Yeah, they did.
Oh no, I think that's actually Ranger. I think this is in response about cards. He thinks there always has to be a degree of randomness and luck in a war game. Sometimes shit happens. It does, and if you're me, it happens a lot.
Yes, I am very, very familiar with.
Yeah. I think I mentioned before one of the previous pods. I used to play a lot of Principles of War, English Civil War, actually at 15mm with a good buddy of mine, Nick, and we got the rules for whatever, and I can't remember what it was because there was dice in it, but it became very predictable. You knew what the result was going to be, and we'd set up a game, and we'd look at it and go, "Well, you're going to win there, and I'm going to win there. And the middle's going to be a bit of a scrap. Should we just go and have a drink instead?" Because it was like that variety had gone, and it just it has to have something in there, otherwise,
I think that's a game. Yeah, but that's why I like my idea of a skirmish before you actually play, because it changes the game every time you play it. It's never the same, even if you're using the same units. Like Martin said, we could be fighting over like a farmhouse.
Yeah,
we have a tiny little skirmish beforehand that lasts 15 minutes, and that could say, you can start. That means you can start those guys on that side of the wall. Actually, you can start them in the farmhouse, or you can start them.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Steve,
we'll try it out.
That's what I like about Chain of Command, is that initial the patrol phase.
Yeah, we do have to try that, Dom.
I think
do.
that is something that me and my mate I play bolt action with regularly. We're going to try and introduce that into game for bolt action. So rather than just starting on your flat table edge, have jump off points in bolt action. I think it'd work really well.
Yeah, I've said that before, man. I really do think
Are we? Am I allowed to yellow card our sponsor? Am I allowed to?
Yes,
do that?
indeed. He must be yellow carded.
I know why.
See Pet.
He wants to know.
Oh,
is
no,
it
that's
him
not
or
a
do I
yellow
look like
card.
Chesney That's a red card.
No, that's a good card. That one, whatever the
What's a
equivalent.
good card?
That's
Hang on.
That's a goal.
We need to firm up this yellow card, red card system. Like it's like Dom's questions free. The yellow card. You cheeky. Yes, thank you, Carl. On that note, if please do visit our lovely sponsor, Carl, who kindly sponsors the podcast. And if you hang around in about half an hour, I'll chuck up the code where you can net yourself 10% discount on all those lovely Avonpost V&V miniatures, the new Greek stuff. Carl, when are you getting in the Lord Byron and that kind of stuff? Is that coming in? Because I actually, that's piqued my interest badly. I probably shouldn't have looked, which is bad, isn't it? I look at things, it's like, again, I tell you something as well, and I know I told you guys this on the stream. I really like the new vampire models that GW.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah.
I really like them.
Don't do it.
I really like them. I don't know why. I think I'm having flashbacks to the game Legacy, the computer game Legacy of Kain, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'll just have you. So my wargaming thing is a little bit like Ken's. For mass battle games, I would love a little bit more build up to these big battles that happen. So, it's fair enough if you're having a game, you haven't got limited time, you just line up 2 armies and you have an objective and you go for it. But I really like why are they fighting where they are, the pre-battle and then the after-battle. And I know some people have talked about this, but that's why I got this out, which is the Fire and Sword book. And in this, before each game, and this is why I was just saying, Ken, about light cavalry, you have a preparation procedure before every game, right? Yeah. So the first part is in this game, points cost. It doesn't matter what points your army is. Yeah, so it bridges that gap between the one that I like, which is I don't like points. I just want to put whatever I want down. And then those players that like to collect a specific army. This bridges the gap. You do use pointed armies, but you collect whatever number of points you want, allowed by the data, like the rule set that you're using.
Yep.
So those of you who've played World War II, 15mm.
Flames of War.
Flames of War. Recognise army
Flames
sheets like this. So each one of these is a different army. Right, and that's how you build your armies, by the silhouettes.
Yeah.
Right. I like that kind of force building. And the way it works is to begin with, you look at the number of points each of you have, and you look at the difference, and the difference in points dictates the type of scenario you're going to play, who the defender will be. The attacker picks that you roll, on the chart to see who's going to what scenario is going to be, but the attacker can sort of modify that roll. And then when you get into it, the defender can pick field fortifications to balance those points out a bit. And then if there's any left, he can buy additional effects. So some of the additional effects that you can buy are things like the enemy commander is drunk, so his command rating goes down. Maybe some of them got lost on the way to the battlefield, so they come on as reserves after turn 2. There's ones on here like insubordination. If you pick this one, when its effect is rolled, immediately pick a random unit and the strongest player's army. That unit becomes insubordinate and they might not follow orders. And that's a way of leveling out those that playing field. And then after you've done that, you set up your battlefield, and then you go to reconnaissance, which is where the light cavalry comes in. Right, and in this phase of the game, basically for every unit of light cavalry and skirmisher in your army, you take a point. So if you've got 30 bases, you get 30 points, yeah? And you calculate them against your enemies, and whoever has the higher has the reconnaissance advantage. They've got onto the battlefield first, and they can spend, so say, Dom, say we're playing and you had 10 more reconnaissance points than me, you can spend those on reconnaissance effects. So So for here, for 3 points, you could pick Decisive Moment. Place a marker near your commander. Once per game, after you and your opponent have made initiative rolls, you may re-roll. So just because you scouted the battlefield, you get to have a re-roll.
Nice.
Maybe here they've captured a big mouth prisoner for 4 points. You are able to capture a prisoner, and now you know the enemy's plans. In the first turn, the opponent must issue orders. In this game, you do them with blinds, like you put them down, but he has to issue them face up so you can see what the enemy are doing.
Oh, cool.
Forced march flanking maneuver for 6 points. You can send a unit off around the board. There are in bolt action and other games that you could always send people off the flank, but this you have to actually buy, like you have to actually think, well, I'm going to take a lot of light cavalry, and that the benefit will be that I can send them off around the battlefield. And if you have 10 points or more, you can set up an ambush. You may place up to one unit of squadron in an ambush. Put this unit aside and mark where they are in the reorganization phase. You can place a unit on the table in any terrain that restricts line of sight. When they appear, every unit within 20 centimeters has to take a morale test or flee from the sudden emergence of the enemy screaming from the bushes. So I just like things like that, and you work that all out, and then you deploy and play your game. So you've had all these other effects, and it's almost like a whole pre-battle.
It's like a mini game, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like it.
And I like that. I mean, obviously, that's a time sink as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only issue I can think of with that is, I mean, it sounds great, but if you're playing like I used to do, and hopefully will do again, down on a Friday night down at the club, and you turn up and you've got 3 hours before the hall closes to have a game, and then you spend 2 hours sorting out the setup. How easy would that be to set up beforehand? I suppose you could do it over the internet beforehand.
Yeah, you could do. I mean, the games of Fire and Sword that we've played have lasted 2 to 3 hours at skirmish level, and the skirmish in this is 100 men aside,
right?
At 15 mil. So, but I guess I'd like to see more of that. I guess the only other thing I'd like to see more of, and it happens a little bit in Black Powder, is obviously you are slightly role-playing the role of the general, and in Black Powder they gave you the ability to randomly roll traits for your commanders. So, and I guess this would just be down to the players, but I'd like, how Dead Man's Hand does free link games.
Yeah.
I'd quite like that in Black Powder. I think basically what I'd like is a scenario book.
Yeah.
Like Saga make the book of battles.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh,
And in historical wargaming, the one big thing I find is a lack of scenarios. Not World War II. World War II, let's agree.
Yeah.
And I find that really hard. I mean, everyone knows capture the crossing, capture the 3 objectives in the mid, but I find, because everyone says, go find a battle and base it on that. It's like, well, no, sometimes I just like to go for a book, pick a scenario. We're going to play this one tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely.
And I don't know if there's if someone could. Sorry, Ken. Go on, Ken.
No, I just had a really good idea before it pops out of my head. You imagine adding, like you were saying about your continuations. Imagine if you did it for, like, say, 100 Years War and stuff, and you actually had gold. So you won gold at the end of the game. And what you could do, or capture enemy commanders or units, and you can ransom them.
Yeah. It's funny you should say this, because this is something that me and my Wars. So we've got our first Wars of the Roses game on Friday. I'm very excited. It's going to be so big. There's going to be no scenario. It's going to be we've spent ages painting this up. We're going to mash our armies together and see what happens. But we've talked about doing a campaign and earning money after the games, depending on capturing people, and then therefore being able to buy units and also having unit restrictions. So archers cost 1 point to bring onto the battlefield, or 1 gold. Men at arms only cost 1, but you can't have more men at arms than you do archers. That kind of thing. So there's a bit of narrative gameplay, but the ability for your commanders to get better would be quite fun.
I do like linked game. I think anything that has a scenario. I mean, in the old days, we used to do a lot of campaigns, and they were great, but they took a hell of a lot of effort on somebody's part. But a really neat system where games have an impact on the next game you play, but don't cripple the other player, because that's always the problem, isn't it? If you're on a losing run and you just, you're losing, so you're going to continue to lose. So it has to still be playable and turn it around. I think Oathmark has a reasonable system for that because you take territories or you remove a certain troop type out of the enemy army, which kind of makes it fun. But it doesn't quite work in terms of the linking. I agree with you. I think that's cool.
So another set of battle reports. I've got a lot of battle reports that are about to come out on the channel. Is Test of Honor, and me and Haley are going to be playing through the 6 linked scenarios in the rulebook. Now the rulebook comes with 18, maybe 20 scenarios, 18 or 20 scenarios, 6 of which are linked for a little campaign. To start you off and then build your forces, and each one has effects on the next one. A bit like Dead Man's Hand, not game breaking, but enough that the winner of the last one has a slight advantage, but not a huge one. Lionheart said he's not sure if this rule exists, but he'd like to see a rule about using mercenaries, and if you take them in your army, that they have a chance of swapping sides mid-game. Again, this is something I want to introduce in the Wars of the Roses because everyone was switching sides all the time. But could that be? See,
what's the name? Never mind. The Buzzcocks has Buzzhooks. Never hand the Billhooks has that in there as a card. The only problem with it, if it happens to you and half your army deserts you, it's a pretty unfun game for the night. So again, I think you've got to be really careful about that. But I think it had some impact on it because you're right. It happened a lot in the
Well, just all the time. I can think of loads of wars. It happened.
Who pays more money, basically?
I'll tell you what. I don't know if you guys know. Steve, you might realize this, but for role-playing games, there's a lot of generic products, and you can buy like generic event decks. Yeah. Right. That have non-specific system rules on them. So it's like you draw an event. You decide how you draw these event cards. You draw a card, then roll a dice on it. Maybe there's a market for something like that, like non-generic, non-game system things. But you could add in. It's like, we want to add in some flavor. Look, you can buy an event deck from the Plastic Crack podcast people, and they you could just add this into your game to,
you took the words right out of my mouth, Martin.
Enemy in Sight says, apart from Dom, am I the only person who's never played a GW game? Yes,
Dom's played GW.
Actually, I have to say, friends, I have played a GW. Yeah. In fact, I played a couple.
Warhammer Mass Battles, isn't it?
I played. No, I haven't played that. No, mate. I have played 40k. I played 3 games of 40k, and then sold everything. And then I played the Lord of the Rings thing. I played.
You played Warhammer Ancient Battles as well, didn't you?
Well, that's is that GW? I suppose it is.
Yeah.
No. That's
not really.
No. Okay, well, there are people who go, Carl hasn't, and SJM66 hasn't. But that's the great thing about a hobby.
It's one of them cool things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Nick Game says he'd love to see Perry Warlord do the Great Northern War in plastic. That would be quite cool. Carolians and Russians.
But the great
fascinating war.
The Great Northern War, or as they call it around here, Last Orders. That normally involves a great war going on.
Hey, you can use that joke now, can't you, Steve? All the pubs are back open again. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I need a pint. I can't wait.
Somebody did say up here, and I did see it, something about the fact that we're crying. Here we go. James said the whole 1813-14 campaign in Germany is missing in Black Powder. Plenty of opportunities there. I'd love to see a book on that. I would love to see. There's been no bloody supplements for ages on Black Powder, has there?
No, there hasn't. I was actually, it's been no supplements for non-bolt action related things for a while. No. I was waiting for a new Hail Caesar. The last one was the Bronze Age stuff, and Pike and Shot. I think it's been ages. So I was surprised they haven't done this. I was surprised they haven't done the Samurai yet because they sell it all. So surprised they haven't done that. Leslie said, "When am I publishing my new rules?" Soon, Leslie. Soon, when I decided whatever they are. Mortem at Glorium apparently has. I see. That's another system I looked at, but I decided on Impetus instead.
I bought that. It's another one of those rule sets I bought, and it's bloody expensive. It comes in a big box with everything you possibly want. It does look really good. I'm waiting. Apparently, there's a group at my club who play it a lot.
It's card activated, isn't it? By colours.
It's by colours, yeah. So different troop types have different colour abilities. So I don't know, barbaric cavalry will have one set of colours, and then more civilized would have those colours plus some different ones, so it has more chance of activating or doing things. But again, it's blocks of stuff, so I'm not sure. It reminds me of GAB, which I didn't like.
All right. Mark says, on the subject of event decks, Fifth Trooper podcast did an event deck for Star Wars Legion and compiled it with suggestions from the podcast listeners. All right, well, we'll do one, and we'll do it for. We'll just do a general event deck. There we go, and we'll publish it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, Ken, you don't have kids. You got time to do that. Mine doesn't even go to bed.
No, yeah, well past bedtime. Jesus, 9:30.
Right, I know. So I think on that note, because Ken's about to pop a blood vessel if we don't do it. So we have a little announcement to make from everybody who's been loyally watching for the last however long it's been, and that is that on the 16th of October 2021 we are doing CrackCon. And it's going to be called CrackCon.
It's going to be called CrackCon.
It's going to be called CrackCon. It is. Go on, Kate, get it out.
Oh. Yeah. So
I didn't mean that.
So 16th October. We're all right to release the venue, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be held at Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby. So it's in the middle of the country. So, and the thing is, you can't complain if someone's too far south because Dom and Ken are about as far south as you get. And if you're up north, if you're on another continent, then we can't. There's not a lot we can do.
And Steve's coming, and he's from Manchester. So there you go.
Steve's going to see him in the flesh. So it is happening now. This we're going to release more details as we go. So Saturday the 16th of October, Boards and Swords in Derby. It's going to be a gaming meetup, a gaming day. We know some of the things that we want to do, some of the things that we're thinking about doing. We've just got to work out if we can. And also we're waiting to be told as well the numbers we're going to do. So it is going to be
there'll be a limited number to start.
It will be limited. This is the first time I think any of the four of us have done something like this for Wargaming or that anyway. So if it's successful, there's nothing to say it has to be annual. So we can if it works, then we'll see what happens. And but what we do know is that we're going to have multiple gaming tables, and we've already got a couple of ideas. But we would also just like to see if 2 or 3 people, it would be just basically interested in maybe putting on a game. Is there a game system that people want to show off that they've been banging on about that they would like to get some love? Burrows and badgers, for example.
Email the Plastic Crap Podcast if you
email us and let us know, or message us on the Facebook group. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group, go over and join the Facebook group. So we will be doing it. I think we've got how many tables? We've got about 17 tables, I think. Something like that. 17 tables. But what we want to do is we will be having a big game. Yes. Is that right, lads? In the middle. So we will be putting a game together. And from the general feel, I think the big game in the middle will be this time Black Powder.
Yep.
So Black Powder. So we'll release the details on how to book for book for tables. But I think we're gonna kind of have it quite open. If people want to arrange games, then they can. But all of that's going to be coming. So all of that good information is going to be coming. We've got some cool stuff that we want to share with you guys about things that we've been off and merch and some other bits and bobs. So if we need to do that because Ken was going to have a brain hemorrhage.
Yes. I've been asking in the group is, can we tell them this week? Can we tell them this week? Can we tell them this week?
We wanted to wait till we had everything confirmed.
Jesus.
So
like a kid with a Christmas. It's been ridiculous.
I can guarantee you now, right? That'll be my fucking moving day. Will be the 16th of October. I will put back my moving. I will put back my house move. Yes.
All we'll say is as well, we just really like everyone who's watched the podcast. All you guys who come and comment, we'd just like to meet you guys, have a game, and afterwards, because we should still be able to, hopefully by then, go for a beer,
Yes.
and or whatever your poison is. Afterwards, there's also there's also a travel lodge
Yes,
just around the corner.
Just literally over the road. Yeah.
So now we've announced that. Shall we see what some people have said?
Just for a heads up, you're watching on the replay. Don't panic. When we release it, it will be in a time when we're not watching the stream. So it'll be like, say, a Friday when we release, like when we're going to do it. So you've got notice of
tickets. We'll give notice when they go on sale.
They won't just go straight on.
And I always say, don't be disappointed if there are limited. Like we say, we've never done anything like this before. And if it works very successful, then we'll do another one. It doesn't have to be an annual thing. We could do 1 in 6 months. We can see how it goes, and we just keep rolling with it. But everyone's been hard at work emailing and having ideas. So Drew from Tenement Tabletop he got in there first with yes. CrackCon. It is CrackCon. And it's officially CrackCon. And SCGT, yes, the hordes. Lionheart, yes, yes, all on the crack. We will. Little Legions. Could I share your house rules? Yes, I will. I'm going to make those available in a Google document. Battle Mat is now moist. We're back to the drippy snow.
We're back to the normal level. Good.
Here we go. Is it going to be held in Ken's attic? No. Well, in your new one, Ken, can we just come around your new house? Can we all just come there? Will Laura be okay?
Yeah, yes.
She'll be all right with that.
Yes, I'm sure she'll love
That's
that.
it.
Yes.
James Cutts, not too far from him. Luke Farrell, CrackCon. That's better news than the pub's opening. Hey.
Steady on.
Hey.
Steady
God,
on.
no, we've got something to live to. Evil
live up
Jim
to
from
it.
North Wales, he will attend. Sam says if it's cancelled, we'll be called Crack One Off. I don't know if you just heard Hayley wet herself laughing in the background.
Oh my God.
Mark Sparky, I'm in Cornwall. Do I win further south? Yes.
Yes, you do. You
Yes.
do.
Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
you do, Mark.
Orange Please. So yeah, James Cutts says Baron Wars. Leslie wishes us luck. Drew Black Powder. Yes, Little Legion said he'd love to put on a 6 mil War of the Roses game. Give us an email. The link for the email is in the description, and come over to the Plastic Crack Podcast Facebook page. Join it. James says, Ken, you got to get your naps finished. Yep.
Jesus Christ, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. They're getting brutal. Is this a weekend job? Yeah, it's on a Saturday. So yeah, and this is the thing. So even if we there's going to be tables available for people to have games. Even if what we'll do is we'll have some main games that we're going to be putting on. I think that's the idea, and then there'll be some other ones as well. But we'll release them. So we've got a little way yet to go, but it's happening.
Yeah.
There we go.
How scary.
There we go.
That.
This is this whole thing started as a joke as well.
It's a complete joke.
It literally did. I just mentioned it. Yeah, but imagine if we did CrackCon.
Oh, it's bloody Hayley, weren't it? She said, "What were you going to call it? CrackCon?" Like, that's it. This sounds great. Where is it again? It's Boards and Swords in Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby. Who are they've got a big gaming space. So it is in a hobby shop. So there's going to be plenty of stuff to go and spend. But we'll release more details as we go. Oh God, the comments have gone mental. Absolutely mental. Everyone's on board. How many tables have been booked for the Bring and Buy? Ken's already got them all booked. Ken's already got them all booked. And the Bring and Buy is currently actually being held in Southampton on the day.
Yes.
It's just
Laura's not letting us do a Bring and Buy because Ken would spend far too much money in there.
Yeah, so I'm not allowed. So yes, it's a very sad day. But Warfare is the month after, so yes, I am.
Batman's happy. So there we go, lads. So and ladies, and anyone who happens to be watching, we're very excited. Steve's going to have to work out his basing with Steve seminar that he's going to get.
Oh yes. Expect
everyone bring a cork. Everyone bring cork. But as we go on, we'll release more and more details as we go. So I think it's about time that I put up Mez's code, of course. So as we already said, this is the Plastic Crack Podcast, kindly sponsored by Mez's Miniatures. And if you use the following code, when you go over to Mez's shop, you'll net yourself a lovely 10% discount. So you can get lots of Avonpost stuff painted up for CrackCon. And you can get some V&V for Saga for CrackCon. Or we can get some Greek War of Independence for CrackCon.
Everything for CrackCon.
Everything for CrackCon. Crusade. That's it. This time in CrackCon. It's all right. It'll all be over by Christmas.
Yeah.
But we will release some more information. So I think it's about time, lads, that we did that bit of the evening and we share some photos that we've had from the group.
Sounds smashing.
There's been some cracking
crack.
stuff.
you got crack on the brain, mate.
That's it. And then we'll do this, and then I think we should move on to some Wargaming news after that. So we'll do it a little bit arse about face, if that's all right. We'll do this bit first, and then. So I'm going to.
He forgot the order, didn't he? He forgot the order.
Yeah, I did. I forgot the order. And to be fair, it's cool. Miller. I'm going to start with Miller because he sent me these photos because he's not on Facebook. Who was it? Was it Leslie asking about the Star Fort? Well, there you go. Yeah. Look, he's getting on with it. So he's as you can see, he's well underway. In it, go outside. The cat's trying to. It's not a child this time; it's a cat. There we go. So he's getting on with it. But just to give you an idea of how the scale, there he is. There's some of his figures in there, and I'm really excited to see this and destroy it. Basically,
can we get him to put a game on where it's a siege where we can use that?
Miller, can you please, if you're watching this live or on the replay, will you please put on a game, a siege game? I guess you could use either Pike and Shot or Pikeman's Lament or something.
Yeah,
that'd be quite cool. He did say that he was unsure about the gateway of modelling it, but as I said, I think if he just puts a load of broken up wood and burnt wood in there and just says that it's been blown or spiked, plus that gives the person attacking it a bit of a chance of getting in.
Some old carts or something like that. That'd be good.
Yeah, exactly. Or just a pile of dead body. I could put my pile of dead French in there. But
good idea.
Dom would certainly approve of that.
Everybody likes a big pile of dead Frenchies.
See, Dom approves of that, but Dom will disapprove of this. And this is from Brendan. So Brendan sent him these lovely Napoleonic British troopers,
yeah.
and he sent in a whole picture of the entire squadron. But
you picked that one.
I picked that one just
that's
for
a beautiful image. That is a
just
beautiful
image.
Just
for you. But look, they are fantastic. They've come out lovely.
It's nicely done. Don't approve of the subject. So I gave my giveaway on my channel this week, and the winner had a couple of crashes riding down a British infantryman. I don't know what is going on. I'm going to have to rebalance this somehow. Things have gone haywire.
You've been disqualified.
I should have disqualified it, shouldn't I?
You should have done. So Andrew, he's got his AWI, isn't it?
Nice.
On the table there. Still a period that I'm interested in doing, but because I'm doing the French Indian War, but I seem to have skipped completely over AWI and then just gone into Napoleonic.
That's very nice.
So, very cool. Are those GMB? Those GMB flags?
Don't know.
It's a bit hard to tell on here, but yeah, no, let us know. Bill, someone has been doing some BattleTech.
Oh yeah, I saw these.
Good old fashioned. Yeah.
They took me right back. I used to play BattleTech years ago, and I loved it. It was such a cool game. Try to stop your mechs from overheating by jumping in a lake. Happy days. But no, they look fantastic. Really do.
Yeah. No, they look awesome. Bob has thrown up 15mm Wars of the Roses. Look at that.
Wow.
That is a lot of miniatures.
Wow.
I know.
That's
it's all very, very cool.
Man.
I know. When he first threw that up, I thought it was 6mm. But no, that's all 15mm stuff. And then we're going to bring Jay. has done some Star Wars. He's done some Clone Troopers. Now, I've painted these guys up, so I know the pain of the white uniforms. The good thing about Clone Troopers is you can paint some like markings and that on them. But I gotta say, I think his has come out a little bit better than mine, but they're looking good. And I do like Star Wars Legion as a game. I really like it. It's a good system. It kind of takes a cross between X-Wing and the Star Wars board game that came out. Have you played it, Steve? Because I know you're into X-Wing.
When it was first announced, when someone said they were releasing a Star Wars 28mm-esque skirmish game, to quote Battle Mat, I became slightly moist. But
oh dear.
Sorry for that mental image there, chaps. But no, we never got around to playing it. It's something I do want to experiment because I've watched quite a lot of battle reports. Little Wars TV did an absolutely fantastic Endor one. It was brilliant. The setup was fantastic. It's just a game we've never got around to playing, but I think one day I will get around to playing it.
It is a good game. I mean, I've got the starter box for the Clone Wars, and it is good fun. Some of the droids are a pisser to put together, but I have a lot of fun playing it.
As bad as Napoleonic British.
The droidica thing, the rolling droid, that comes in 18 separate pieces.
Are you actually serious?
18?
Yeah. And
that must be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, and you make it up in two forms, in its standing form and in its rolling form. The standing one was fine. That was fine. That made sense to me. The rolling one, I was just like, Jesus, can I just put a token? I've never said like, can I just put a token down? Like, you know how I like my markers and my casualty figures. That nearly broke me. And then I've looked at them since and realised I've done it wrong on one of them. One of them's wrong. One of them's wrong. One of them's wrong because it's kind of got I've got the droid that's a little bit wrong and its leg is sticking out the side, sort of like this. Because I remember at the time thinking, I'm sure that folded in. Like I'm sure that there was never. I know I never saw that droid that had like a little bit that was sticking out as it rolled around.
Oh, no.
But no, some very nice stuff. Our sponsor Carl, I love this because he's painted the flag.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the is that the giant figures?
Well, are they Perry?
Are they Perry's? Oh, I thought the Giants do a similar couple of brothers. Is it Chamberlain brothers? Or
yeah,
something?
they're the Chamberlain brothers. Yeah, that's the Chamberlain brothers.
I thought it was
I've got
Giant.
Yeah,
they're limited edition minis.
Yeah,
so the ones that when they've sold 500 of them, they destroy the molds.
Yeah, that's correct. I've got a set.
They are nice. I mean, like I say, what I love in there is that he's painted the stars and stripes on the folded banner, which is awesome because there's some of those on the ECW figures, but I've cut those. I'm not using those.
Yeah.
Can I use those as rebels? Do you think? I know.
Don't you friggin' dare!
Do I use them as? I'm tempted to. I have to say, I'm going to build a red army at some point.
I will build. I have decided I will do ACW when the Muskets and Tomahawks expansion for it comes out. That's the one I'm most excited about from Muskets and Tomahawks is the ACW expansion. That's the one that's really piquing my interest. But Ken, Archie Gamer, we've got not you, Ken.
Archie Gamer.
Yeah, I wish I could paint like him. That'd be nice.
What's going on? None of my stuff. There we go. There we go. I don't know what happened then. It all came out. So there we go. Look, we have some boats.
Nice.
Oh, nice, yeah. Congo. Oh, Japanese. Oh.
They're very cool. I picked those ones because I just really like the bases and what he's done with the waves and the names on the back.
I'm pretty sure they're all one. They come like that. They're resin. I don't know what company do them, but they've got a massive range, more than the Warlord ranges. But I think they're a little bit different scale.
They are. I know the ones you mean, but they are different scale.
Yeah.
They're also very expensive, from what I remember.
Yeah,
but they are lovely models.
They are sweet if that's your poison. 100%.
They look lovely. I mean, that's another game for CrackCon. Cruel Seas? No, not Cruel Seas. Is it Cruel Seas? Black Seas.
Victory Sea.
Just bring a seaboard and bring all three gauges to see it. King Matt the Superior, he's carrying on with his his ongoing ACW as well. Now I've noticed that him and Carl in the group have been bouncing lots of ideas off each other, and which is really cool to see. I really like seeing that. Although again, it's making resisting buying that lovely Perry starter box really hard.
I almost had a moment early this year. Remember when I told you guys I found that rule set, Colt Action, which is using bolt action rules to play ACW games. I almost had a regrettable moment, but I stopped at the very last minute.
You controlled yourself.
I did, which is quite remarkable, actually.
Very proud.
No, I think I'll break soon. But Niall put this up. Now, this is something I love. This. Look at that diorama base for that medic.
Brilliant.
That is
sweet. That is a sweet.
That is awesome.
I love that, and I think that's wicked. And as I said in the comments, he said he didn't know what it would do in game. I think you can perfectly use that in the game. Just whack it on the table, and just we use ambulances and things like that, and just say that on a command roll, it can take a casualty off a unit. If you're using it for black powder, that is, it can take a casualty off a unit within 12 inches. If you're all double six, it buggers off because the ambulance is full or it's run out of supplies. I love adding little things like this into games, and I think if you can find it. It's like the Perrys make the farrier, the horseshoes. I thought about having that and if you had that on the board at the start of the game, you could pick a cavalry unit and they maybe automatically get one order for free, something like that. If you take it. I was trying to think of a rule for it. It's a bit harder than the medic because it's a little bit. The horseshoes are better.
You could give them an extra 2-3 inch range for movement.
Yeah, maybe an extra dice.
Yeah.
Or they roll, I know, if they roll 3 dice, they can roll 4 and take the best 3.
Maybe on the first order of the game, whatever their first thing is, they automatically count as passing at least one of whatever it is. So if you say, I want them to go two moves, they automatically count as having completed the first. So you only need to get one. Something like, that's a good play. Paul's got the RC, Napoleonics.
Nice.
Look at that. Now that is a lot of cavalry. That makes me feel a bit ill. But that is a beautifully painted.
Do you remember what cavalry are, Martin?
I've got until the 31st of December, so that they will get done this year.
Do you reckon you should make a pledge to have it done before CrackCon just to give them a bit of pressure?
I think a unit by CrackCon would be something at this stage.
I've done a unit. Oh, what of cavalry, of Napoleonic cavalry? Sorry, I was about to say I've painted about 300 miniatures. They
got to be cars then.
Ken, here you go. Then it is a pledge that I'll make. My secret project will be done before CrackCon.
I hope so.
It will be.
It's driving me nuts. He's probably had it done. He's probably had it done already for ages.
I haven't. It's between these airborne and the Landsknecht, it's taken a sort of not been touched in about 3.5 weeks.
Well, that's painful.
No, someone did ask about the secret project and what was it? Was that it's like gone the same way as the brown paper bags? I did see that comment.
Oh yes, I like that. You don't want to be involved with that, Steve. You want to get away from that brown paper bag nonsense.
So moving on. Stefan has done some proper Romans. Nice proper Republican proper Romans. Look at that. I love Republican Romans. I really do. I just think they're awesome. I think you've got more varied troop types. You got that. You don't have that massive uniformity necessarily that you do on the other ones. But I really enjoy it. I think that looks wicked.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Martin.
Do you know what's really weird though? To me, when I look at a unit of those and I look at a unit of Imperial Romans, the Imperial Romans look more modern. Don't know why. The square shields. I think that's what it is. But I don't know. They just look more modern. They just look more powerful. They look earlier period, but they're not. They're later, aren't they?
Yeah, they are the early ones.
They're the early ones.
Republican. They're the early ones. Yeah, they're pre-Republican. So this is what Rome forged a lot of its empire with. And then the only difference is that they I can't remember. Marius made some reforms in the 1st century BC. and that's when they moved to the sort of the Legion, the cohort, and away from the maniple system, which is what these guys are using. And then they start to use they carry on using chainmail. Then that changes to Lorica segmentata, which is the traditional thing that everyone thinks of when they think of Roman legionaries. So yeah, no, these predate. I mean, these are good for what, like 200 BC up to pretty much Caesarean stuff, aren't they?
Right, okay.
Good for that.
They're the best.
Good. Stig, I love these. We've got some orcs.
Hey.
Oh, nice colours. Like the
They are. I thought they're very bold, and I really like that standard. I like how like ridiculously oversized it is. But that is very cool. And on the GW stuff, Tony's chucked up these awesome looking skeletons from Curse
Really
City.
nice.
I think they've come out really. The metals look wicked.
Oh yeah, they're
Come up.
Give Game Shop their workshop their due. They do some nice miniatures.
They are, I know, which is why I'm having problems with looking. I kept on looking at the new Vampire Count stuff.
If you buy those, you'll never live it down.
Why? I got no problem. My issues aren't with the models; they're just with the company. I just don't. But I was looking at it.
You end up
I could do an
playing
Age of
KC.
Magic. I might. Well, I won't because no one can buy it, can they? Because they just got rid of it, haven't they? It was like a one release thing. And
Oh,
then
they're doing that
gone.
again, are they?
Yeah. And Warren, I think Warren did this just to troll Dom.
That's fucking brilliant.
Well, I would give him a red card for that, but he's so freaking nice. I'm not going to. Look at the eyes on those toads. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, that is nice, isn't it?
That is seriously nice. Very nicely done.
Well
I'll
done,
forgive you for it.
No, but they're very cool. So that means Dom, could you do a news round wipe for us?
No, can't. Sorry.
we do need a little intro. Ken, sort us an intro for the news.
Ken, you need to do an intro. How about this one? Did you see this? And I've been moaning, not moaning, but Wargaming Warlords have been doing this. Basically anything they've got in the bin, selling it for 50 quid in their supposed box of random shit. And it's been utter twat. I mean, utter crap from what I've seen of it. I mean, utter rubbish in it. Like a sprue of British infantry with no weapons and that sort of thing. I believe it got slightly better as the thing went on. And I think most people I saw commenting and said, well, why don't you just do a single system box and then people would buy it? And funny enough, that's what they've done. So they've got these ones coming out. So it's 50 quid's worth of crap that they got around the office, but at least it's all bolt action.
Yeah, but you know what that's going to be, don't you?
It's
going to be all British stories. There's going to be all.
Well, except it does say US Army storage. It's supposed to be themed around D-Day. So I don't know. We'll see.
The original US.
Do you know what? I get one thing. Do you know what? It just doesn't do it for me at all. I do not. 50, even at 50 quid, and knowing it's all for one system, still not my bag.
It's better than it was. I mean, imagine if
it's
they
a step
do
up
a
from that.
Black Powder one, or so. I just thought I could. There's so many people I saw putting videos on where they got a whole load of Doctor Who models, and they didn't even know what Doctor Who was and all that kind of stuff. It was like, oh, for God's sake,
Oh, look, Travis is letting the side down. He can't make CrackCon.
Oh, Travis,
come on, mate.
It's only a plane ride away.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's not like
It's not like you're not allowed in or anything.
Travis, as far as excuses go, my man, that's a poor one. That's really poor. You need to, priorities and all that.
Although someone did say we should hold it in California. And
I just seen that one. Nicely asking they might hold it in California. Yep, that's it. This year in California.
If this is successful, you never know.
We'll be on our way to California quite nicely.
I did see one comment that was like, crack on these cod pieces.
Yes.
Create your own cod piece.
It'd be free entry. No, I'm not going to say that one. Right. The other thing I saw is the Perrys. Some nice Frenchies they've got here.
I did see those as well. It's about 6 different sets of codes that they've released. I hadn't even really seen any sort of rumblings about them. They just did that. Oh, here you go.
A whole load of Frenchies, yeah. And I think it's really nice of them to do in a running pose because they're going to be great when they're running away from the British. be fantastic. Absolutely perfect.
Can't wait to smash you. It's going to be great.
And this one's for Steve. This is
and
for
it's going to be the Italians as well.
The winners of the Wargames Atlantic. What box would I like next? Was this one, Lanchnet Ogres?
That's fucking weird.
Now
So
I
weird.
have to say, I watched all this voting, and I did vote on most of them. So for those who didn't see it, Wargames Atlantic did this thing, and they basically said everybody put in recommendations of something they'd like us to do next in our sets. And I think I put in Ottoman Napoleonics. So I thought that'd be quite fun. But the final 10, genuinely, I couldn't possibly think of a single use for any of them. They were so random and such peculiar things, and this one won. And it was like, oh my God. Something made me realize how tiny historic wargaming is in the bigger world of wargaming, because some of this stuff that came up. Anyway, I'm sure they'll do a lovely job of it.
When I found that,
So I was going to say, all you got to do is all you got to do is buy one box of those, make those up, and you've got an Age of Magic army ready to go, because you've already got the troops, and you could add those in, and there's your thing that makes it a fantasy.
To be fair,
you've got
I was intrigued by them when I first found out. My mate sent me a message and he said, what do you think of this? And I just literally poured myself a glass of wine and was like, yeah, I might not drink that tonight. I think I've been sniffing too much stuff. It was just such a random bloody Lanchnet Ogres.
Yeah. Go on, sorry, Steve.
It's just completely. I would never ever have thought of something like that. So props to the guy that came up with the idea. It's a fantastically creative combination.
Yeah. The only problem though is they've come up. He's come up with that idea, but how many people clicked on it just because it sounded good and they're not actually interested in buying it?
Well, I don't know, Ken, because I don't know whether you did. Did you see some of the things that were in that top 10? And that must have been multiple people were voting for them on multiple occasions to get through.
And then, but I suppose don't they? It's like the old Empire. People just want like the old Empire armies, don't they? Because I'm about to sell my Empire army, and I just mentioned it the other day, and I've already had a bunch of people email me going, "I'll buy it." It's like, you have no idea what's in it. I think people just want that thing that will fit in with stuff that's already there. For Oathmark, for Age of Magic.
I actually think, when I think about it, in all seriousness, I think that army could be quite useful, as you say, for medieval or people who are doing that sort of fantasy stuff, Oathmark and various other things at the moment. Really.
Ranger says, "This isn't a joke." No, we don't.
No, that is it.
No. Or if it is, all four of us have been suckered by it. But no. Anyway, lads, we've been going now for over 2 hours. So it's time. Anyway, we thank everybody for taking time to watch us. For the 100 people that tuned in, thank you very much. And we are really looking forward to chatting and discussing the plans for CrackCon over the next few months before it happens. Hopefully there'll be no changes and no other lockdowns. Fingers crossed. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us on your Monday evening. Thank you very much for watching the replay. Thank you to Carl from Mez's Minis for sponsoring the podcast. And we will see you guys next week. And it's Dom. And Dom, we have...
Yeah, we've got something a bit different next week. So we've got historical fiction author, whose name's completely escaped me now. Harry Sidebottom is joining to talk about, because he's a wargamer as well. So he's going to talk about wargaming and also what it takes to write historical fiction. So if you like Harry Sidebottom, come along and listen. If you don't, come and find out why he does what he does. Why you should.
In the meantime, listen to an audiobook if you've got a week to listen.
Yeah, you've got a week to listen.
A week to listen to a book, which is what I'm going to be doing straight off. I'm going to go and download one. I've got a very dull weekend. Anyway, chaps, great to see everyone. We will see you guys next week over on Dom's channel. So see you all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.